It is quite simply one of the biggest games in Manchester City's 127-year history. The citizens know they're within 90 minutes of a place in a first ever Champions League final, but they know that PSG, their opponents tonight, and for this second leg, won't go quietly and make their life easy in their pursuit for the Holy Grail, as the road to Istanbul is an ever-shortening one, as it's Manchester City in pole position to reach the showpiece game in 25 days' time. But will Mauricio Pochettino deliver a masterclass just like he did 2 seasons ago with Tottenham Hotspur back in the quarterfinals, in which his side reached the final that very same year?
We appear to have lost Matt for the moment in time, so we'll just bring you the update. I'm just joined at the moment along with Jack, and Jack ahead of this game tonight.
Manchester City make 9 changes to the side that fade against Crystal Palace at the weekend, and a pretty straightforward win for Pep Guardiola's side. Ederson and Fernandinho are the only two that retain their place from Saturday's team. It's an entirely changed back four. Walcott, Stones, Diaz and Zinchenko at the back four, as Cancelo, Ake, Laporte and Mendy are replaced. Gundogan comes in place of Rodri as he partners Fernandinho in the 2. Mahrez, Bernardo Silva and Foden are in, with Kevin De Bruyne in the false 9. De Bruyne replaces Jesus. Foden's in for Sterling, Bernardo in for Aguero, and Mahrez in for Ferran Torres. Well, for Paris Saint-Germain, they make 5 changes to the side that beat Lens at the weekend that keeps their French title hopes alive. It is Keylor Navas in goal, Florenzi, Marquinhos, Kimpembe and Jallo at the back 4. Paredes and Herrera are the 2 holding midfielders, with Di Maria, Verratti, Neymar as the 3 attackers, with Icardi leading the line. So the changes come in the form of Colin Dagba dropped to the bench as Florenzi comes in. Gueye out because of suspension that he picked up against Manchester City. And of course, he played against Lens at the weekend. He comes out as Herrera's in. Paredes in for Danilo Pereira. Sarabia out, Verratti in. Draxler out, Di Maria in. And of course, a notable name that's not in the starting lineup tonight is Kylian Mbappe. The subs, Zach Steffen, Scott Carson, Ake, Laporte, Mendy, Cancelo, Rodri, Torres, Sterling, Jesus, Aguero for Man City, and for PSG, Rico, Randri Amami, Kera, Baka, Kazava, Colin Dagba, Rafinha, Pereira, Sarabia, Draxler, Kylian Mbappe. We are almost ready to go at the Etihad Stadium. And for 2 financial powerhouses of the world football game and in Europe, it is, of course, a competition that has eluded both of them as both sets of players take the knee. As, of course, it's been adopted in England, and, of course, with the English sides being allowed special dispensation to do so. But there is so much talent on show tonight for both sides. It is a game that many a European football fan will be sitting down and taking a note of, as it's PSG that get us underway. And immediately there was a bit of a decision for Bjorn Kuipers, the Dutch referee, to make, as Alessandro Florenzi is on the ground, which is, of course, covered in white because of the hailstones that descended on the ground just before kick-off. It was Phil Foden that went in on Alessandro Florenzi. Zinchenko gives it to Ruben Diaz. It's now time for me to introduce your co-commentator for tonight's game, Jack Cunningham. Jack, this really is an appetising clash, if ever there was one, isn't there? And it's Manchester City against PSG, 2 dominant forces. Can Manchester City get over the line?
It is absolutely huge. It is the biggest game of these 2 clubs' season by a long, long way. As you mentioned rightly, They've both not actually won the Champions League yet. So this is the big one that they both want. This is the one that their owners want. So, this is a huge game. I mean, the hailstorm was a bit of an unexpected. I know it's Manchester in spring, but I wasn't expecting that. So that could, you can already see. I saw Mahrez there already lost his footing there, and Fernandinho snapping at challenges there late. So that could play a part as well. I think the big news obviously is no Mbappe. How are PSG going to do without their talisman? Will it maybe free up Neymar a bit more because all the responsibilities on his shoulders? It sure be a fascinating tie. I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
Well, let's talk about the players for both sides. You look at Manchester City, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, and Ilkay Gundogan, Diaz, just to name a few. They've got a squad full of stars. PSG, Neymar, Di Maria, Marquinhos, Icardi are the star names in their lineup. You could even make a case for a lot of their players as well. But of course, that one name that we so often want to see is Kylian Mbappe, as Marquinhos looks to try and find Verratti early on. Here's Neymar. First touch for him tonight. Looks to try and find Florenzi on that right-hand side, but it's an overhit ball which goes out for a Manchester City throw-in. And the camera's just cut to Neymar. Of course, with Mbappe out of the team tonight, Jack, it has meant that the responsibility has fallen even more heavily onto Neymar's shoulders. When the pressure does sort of go to Neymar on these real big games, he can deliver, and we have seen at times that he can't deliver. He is a player that really does have to do it tonight for PSG, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think if they're going to have any chance, he's the one, isn't he, really? And you can already see he's trying to get on the ball early, but that's 2 passes now he's given away already. So is that going to be an indication of his game? And if so, you can't imagine it ending well for PSG.
Here is now Kyle Walker venturing forward into the PSG half. Now to Riyad Mahrez. It's quite a unusual thing to see in very early May that we have got hailstones in the air. Of course, it has now stopped. It did sort of just happen around about an hour and plus before kickoff. And of course, it has just left its mark on the pitch as Abdou Diallo tries to play it down the line, but it's blocked off Riyad Mahrez for a PSG throw. 3.5 minutes in. It is Manchester City 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0 in a game you're listening to on Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative commentary. And I spoke about last week how there could be an all UEFA Europa League final. We could be having an all UEFA Champions League final with, of course, Chelsea in action tomorrow against Real Madrid as PSG play their way out of their defensive area beautifully. Here's now Angel Di Maria, of course, very familiar to this part of the world, given he used to play for the red side of Manchester. Of course, a man who knows what it takes to win a Champions League final. He was man of the match in the 2014 final as Real Madrid were victors to win La Decima against Atletico Madrid in Lisbon. Here is Neymar to Leandro Paredes. Another Argentinian, one of 3 in the lineup tonight for PSG. Here is Jallo to Paredes once more. Now to Presnel Kimpembe, who seems to have, over the last few years, really made himself a stalwart in this Paris Saint-Germain side. Now Marquinhos, who scored the opener last week in that first leg at the Parc des Princes. Florenzi looks over the top for Di Maria. It's all good for Foden to deal with. Stabs it away. Verratti with the first time ball out to Neymar. He's in the box on that left. Neymar shoots. It's gone off John Stones. Here's Verratti. It is a bright, positive start by Les Parisiens. Now it's Herrera to Neymar. He's been right in the thick of it so far. Verratti tries to give it back to Neymar. It's gone off Walker. Now Di Maria has it in the Man City box. Lining up the shot, does shoot. It's gone off Bernardo Silva. Here is now Jallo. PSG come again. They're just trying to unlock the key in these opening stages. Di Maria goes down under the challenge of Walker. Bjorn Kuipers says no. Di Maria was adamant that that was a foul.
I don't know.
Sort of just on the corner of the left-hand box there, wasn't it? He did tumble in the box there, to be fair.
He did. I mean, to be fair, the PSG, they weren't too... Good block from Verratti there.
Ball has gone off Verratti as Walker's trying to close that down. It is Verratti now to Neymar. And now he looks to try and find it. Cardi. It's cleared away. Jallo with the ball back in. It's over the head of Neymar. And there are appeals for a handball, which Bjorn Kuipers has given. It's a penalty. Inside 6 minutes to Paris Saint-Germain. It's Zinchenko who's been penalised. Diaz, Fernandinho and Stones surround the Dutch referee, and Paris Saint-Germain, who knew they have to score 2 tonight to stand any chance of getting to the Champions League final, have got an early penalty here at the Etihad Stadium. And you really have to say that Manchester City can count themselves unlucky. This has surely got to be checked by VAR, which Bjorn Kuipers is going to exactly do here.
Yeah, you can't not check VAR for that. I mean, you can't even see the ball coming. But I tell you what, PSG, what a start they've made to this game. That was relentless pressure from them there. They had Man City penned in the box, constant crosses, and it would have been a shame if nothing came from all of that pressure. And I think Bjorn Kuipers is probably going to change his mind here. Yeah. Right decision.
Well, he has absolutely changed his mind. Of course, VAR was brought in for those decisions. But of course, Jack, as we've seen over the course of this season, we have seen some strange handball decisions in the Premier League, all across English football for that fact, and of course in Europe. But of course, Zinchenko, who was penalised at first, has felt the reprieve from the referee, Bjorn Kuipers. But as you mentioned, it has been a very fast start by Paris Saint-Germain, and it just seems to have rattled Manchester City, doesn't it?
Yeah. Couldn't get out. Look at PSG, then easily, I say they easily got.
Lovely play by De Bruyne, trying to get away from Kimpembe. That was a really good slight challenge by Kimpembe. When, of course, the defender goes in with a challenge like that and wins it clean, it is a real fantastic sight to see. But it's, of course, a rivalry. Pochettino and Guardiola that has produced some memorable games. Remember the game in the Champions League quarterfinals, second leg 2 years ago at the Etihad when Guardiola was managing Manchester.
We appear to have lost Matt at the moment in time. We'll try and get Matt back in a second. In the game I'm watching is currently Luton 0, Rotherham United 0. Rotherham have had a few chances, so as Luton, but at the break it is Luton 0, Rotherham 0. And we've got Matt back now, so we'll hand back over to for the game between Man City
Comes to
and
Mahrez
PSG.
and it's in. It's 1-0 to Manchester City. Well, they've been under pressure and under the cosh in the opening 10 minutes, but Riyad Mahrez with their first big moment of promise in this second leg has stroked it home beyond Keylor Navas, and that might just be potentially a bridge too far for Paris Saint-Germain. Manchester City 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0, and it's Riyad Mahrez who scores again, just like he did 6 days ago in the French capital.
Look at that pass by Edison. Absolutely unbelievable ball by the Brazilian. He's unlucky, Florenzi, with the block. Comes out of Mahrez. And, you know, he's been so clinical this season as Riyad Mahrez. Such an important player for Guardiola's side. He was never going to miss that. And after what an absolutely fantastic start by PSG, they've now got it all to do if they didn't have it all to do already.
Well, it just came into Mahrez. He still had a lot to do. He managed to get it under the legs of Keylor Navas, who, to be fair to him, covered his near post very quickly. Kimpembe slid in to make life very difficult for Riyad Mahrez, but he made that finish look so easy, the Algerian, and he's put Manchester City 1-0 up, and that is a real sting in the tail for Paris Saint-Germain, who, as Jack rightly has said, started the game in a real fantastic fashion, right on the front foot, really meant business. We're right in search of getting in front and just trying to claw back the deficit, but that goal might have just changed the picture. That is a stunning ball by Mahrez to get De Bruyne on the go. He can't pick up Bernardo as Marquinhos comes in and intercepts, but that is a massive goal, and it's now put Manchester City 3-1 up on aggregate. And PSG already knew they had to get 2. If they are to do it in 90 minutes, they're going to have to get 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge task now, isn't it? But they're going to have to open up even more than they have been. And you'd think this is going to play into City's hands. And, well, I can definitely see more goals in this one. Don't actually know, obviously, which way they're going to go. But it has been a fantastic start of the game. What an absolutely brilliant Champions League semi-final second leg so far.
Absolutely. It has been fast-paced, real edge-of-your-seat stuff, as I did sort of say just before kick-off in this one, of course. And I will have to say as well, I do apologise if you did hear any technical difficulties, which meant that the host, Ross Vernon, had to step in for just a few brief moments there. Of course, it is always a bit of an issue with technology at times, but it does almost feel like now that the glitches and the difficulties have managed to be well and truly be put beyond us. Here is now Verratti, of course, the Italian who is their record appearance holder in the Champions League with 66 appearances to his name. It's his 67th tonight for him. Such a effortless player, and is someone that has been a real mainstay in this Paris Saint-Germain team for the best part of a decade nearly. Here's Neymar. If they needed him to step up before tonight, they really need him to do so now. Jallo gets it from Di Maria, but the low cross is easily picked up by Edison. But Jallo, early in the 14 minutes of this game, Jack, is seeing a lot of space out there.
Putting about 4 crosses already, hasn't he? That's not actually, it's not the best ball in, but I'd feel that you need someone gambling across the near post there, really, just to make it a bit more tricky for the likes of Edison. But yeah, Jallo getting a lot of space so far early on in this game.
Here's Fernandinho now to Gundogan, out to the right, looking for Mahrez, but it was cut out by Jallo. Neymar trying to get on the end of Verratti's pass, and he's done well to do so, the Brazilian. Tries to find Di Maria and is fouled. It's a free kick. I think it was Gundogan that let one in on Neymar there, who's almost occupying that position of coming in from the left, isn't he? Or coming in centrally to just bring it onto his right foot. And there was no doubt about it that he was clipped.
Yeah, it's a definite foul. I feel that Neymar actually held on to the ball too long. He had Di Maria totally free for a long time before that, but he just kept on to it too long. And in the end, I guess he's won a free kick. And you can see what Guardiola thinks of that. There was no need to make the challenge. Neymar wasn't really going anywhere per se. And now, I mean, he's got a chance to bend one in.
Well, Manchester City scored a free kick at the Parc des Princes 6 days ago.
Hopefully the wall's better.
PSG to do what Manchester City did in that first leg. And of course, how crucial it would be in the context of this game, because it would really make it an even more mouth-watering prospect that it was already supposed to be. It looks like it's going to be Di Maria on this. Manchester City have got 5 in the wall. There is one behind it. It will be Neymar who takes. It's took a nick off a Manchester City player in the wall, and it's a PSG corner. So the danger isn't quite gone yet for Manchester City, as they've got more defending to do from this corner. Big
good wall from Fernandinho. A lot better wall than PSG's last week.
Absolutely. Morris just seemed to cut through it, didn't he? I mean,
it was terrible.
It was a very, very poor defensive wall, wasn't it? You can hear what Jack Cunningham certainly thinks of that analyzer for tonight's game. Corner's going to be delivered in by Neymar. Doesn't have any height on it. It's cleared away by De Bruyne. Now Verratti is on the ball on the left, which he gets in from the touchline. Gets it back from Neymar. Thought about clipping it in. but instead gives it back to the Brazilian. Down the line to Di Maria, who seems to be onside. Clip toward Marquinhos, and he's hit the crossbar. While the Brazilian centre-back, who's found scoring goals this season, a pretty regular occurrence, almost came up with an equaliser there. He leapt highest. Ederson was beaten, but unfortunately for him, he smacked it against the crossbar as Manchester City look to bring the ball out now with Gundogan. Here's Bernardo Silva through to De Bruyne. Foden's made the run to his left. He looks to find Mahrez, can't quite find him, but PSG are getting so close to getting an equaliser here.
What an absolutely brilliant ball in that was by Di Maria. Towering header by Marquinhos. So unlucky that he's seen that hit the crossbar. But, I mean, PSG keep playing like this. You think it's only a matter of time before they at least get one back.
To say that they have been very harshly done here this evening, of course, in terms of the scoreline. I mean, they've had the better of the opening 17 minutes. They've had all the play. They've been the most threatening, the most brightest. But as at the moment, still behind. And, of course, find themselves now 2 goals behind on the aggregate scoreline, which is 3-1. And, of course, in the second leg, if you are just tuning in, it is currently Manchester City 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0, courtesy of a Riyad Mahrez goal within the opening sort of 10, 11 minutes of this contest. Icardi couldn't quite get it under control, and there's a handball given against Phil Foden. Bjorn Kuipers, of course, who's already had to give a handball decision and turn it away. There's a bit of afters between Florenzi and Foden, which is alerted Bjorn Kuipers, and certainly got Pochettino in a bit of a spin there, didn't it?
Yeah, well, you got to remember Foden was the one who caught Florenzi right at the beginning of the game, wasn't it? So that could be one to keep an eye on as the game goes on. That's now 2 times they've come together with a clash. And I don't know, Foden's young, he's still maybe, a bit hot-headed perhaps. So I don't know if Florenzi's trying to get in his head a little bit maybe.
It will be a PSG free kick from that Foden handball. Di Maria was going to clip it in, but it's Neymar who does instead. Kimpembe goes up, Stones heads it on too. The chest of Kimpembe, but luckily it just hangs up in the air for Ederson as Kimpembe stays down. And Di Maria has got it, and Di Maria has put it wide. Well, Ederson threw it quickly. Di Maria tried to catch the Brazilian keeper cold, and he's nearly managed to pull it off. But what was Ederson thinking now with that throw out?
Oh, it's just, well, that's actually a terrible touch, isn't it, by Bernardo Silva. He just falls into the trap of Di Maria and he whips it towards that far corner. And I'll tell you what, Edison's not getting close. That's 3 big chances now for PSG, and Man City have had 1 and been clinical.
You're absolutely right with that. And of course, Kimpembe was still on the ground. I mean, it was a bit of a surprise to see Bjorn Kuipers not actually blow his whistle. He might have just not even seen it, to be fair. But PSG were in no business to do so. When you're that far out with that much of a shooting opportunity, you really do have to try your luck. And how close Angel Di Maria was to scoring back in the city where he used to, of course, play his football, albeit for the red side of it anyway, as the replays show. Kimpembe getting an arm in the face from John Stones, which John Stones, to be fair, knew absolutely nothing about.
No.
In fairness to the England centre-back.
But it's left Kimpembe in a bit of a heap, hasn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's just been an absolutely fantastic game so far. It's incredible. You watch 2 teams this good, how easily they cut through the lines. You see teams in the Premier League and what have you spend forever passing the ball backwards and sideways, just trying to be incisive. And then you've got a player like Verratti picks up the ball, splits it through 2 lines. De Bruyne, Gundogan, all can do that. And it's just making for an absolutely brilliant game for any neutral out there.
Well, this really is the definition of elite football, isn't it? Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, they might not be the biggest in terms of European honours, just one to Manchester City's name, the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1970. And of course, Paris Saint-Germain have won 2 in terms of the Cup Winners' Cup in 1996 and the Intertoto Cup in 2001. But where they want to be is consistently in the Champions League finals, winning this famous glittering old trophy. The likes of Bayern Munich, Manchester United and Real Madrid and Barcelona have done so many years and so many times for that fact that they want to be part of it, don't they? And of course, no money can buy success. Of course, as everybody knows, success does have to be earned. But your observations on this first 20 minutes, Jack, and you have to say for the people listening in, PSG can count themselves seriously unlucky. They could
So unlucky.
be 3-1 up in this game, couldn't they?
Yeah. So unlucky, really. You got a spot on there. I mean, they've had all of the play, all the games. I mean, got to say, Icardi's not been involved at all, though. How much of a difference would it make if they had a Mbappe on the field? I don't want to obviously keep bringing that up, but, you know, in the end, that could be the difference to them. But they've got to be encouraged by this start. I know they're 1-0 down, but they're certainly still in the game. And the next goal, if they get it, then it really is game on.
Bernardo Silva couldn't quite get that under control. Herrera goes down, but he wanted a free kick himself, Herrera, because he was saying he got a little elbow on the side. Herrera and Gundogan having a bit of an argument between one another there, as there has been a few occasions where there has been a little bit of frustrations reaching boiling point with certain players, and I don't think this is going to be the last we see of it here, as we've seen quite a few instances in the opening 22 minutes.
It's such high stakes, isn't it, for both teams, both players? I mean, they're used to, let's be fair, they're used to playing teams who barely even give them a challenge, really. So they can play in second and third gear, both these sides, most of the time, and win easily. So, you know, this is something totally different now. They've both got to be 100% on it, and, you know, tensions are so high.
Well, they have got to be right at their full throttle, haven't they, against one another, as you've seen early on. Herrera, whilst Jack was speaking, has gone into the book for that. He's absolutely bemused by that. I think his teammates are on the same page with that as much as anything else. But it is Manchester City who get a free kick with Fernandinho going to take. Just sort of elaborating on what you were saying about Mbappe. I think the one thing that is so good about Mbappe, we know about his goal scoring record, how it is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's 37 in 43 at club level for PSG in various competitions. But in terms of his attributes, his pace is frightening. He really stretches defences, doesn't he? Whereas Icardi is a natural born finisher. He won't run off a attacking midfielder, will he? Like what Mbappe will do.
Icardi's a fantastic striker, don't get us wrong, but he has not got that world-class star ability that Mbappe has.
Zinchenko to Foden. Zinchenko gets it back. It's a rare foray into the PSG half for Manchester City, despite them leading by 1-0 as we are into the 23rd minute of this game. But he loses out Foden there, and here come PSG. Here's Di Maria looking down the middle for Neymar, but it was just a little bit too much on it from Di Maria. But there's that quick thinking, bit of play from Paris Saint-Germain once more.
Di Maria's had a brilliant first half so far.
Challenge goes in by Icardi. It was a really good sliding challenge by him as well. The ball is a long one by Fernandinho, which Navas decides against picking up, and instead we'll just play it out to Presnel Kimpembe. Marquinhos gets it from Ander Herrera. He's got to be careful for the remainder of this game. The Spanish midfielder was one of 5 changes in the PSG side for tonight's game. Di Maria's touch is rolled on through to John Stones. And one thing about Manchester City this season, Jack, is their defensive stats. I mean, we covered a game, didn't we, on Football Commentary Live a few weeks back.
Leicester, wasn't it? Yeah.
Leicester, didn't they? And we spoke about sort of Diaz just a little bit briefly there, but what an impact he's made in their defensive numbers this season are absolutely astonishing to back that up, aren't they?
Yeah, what an incredible signing. I mean, he's only 23 as well, which I find ridiculous. I mean, he's such a leader in there, clearly communicates, and he's just revitalized John Stones as well, which is great to see, because, you know, Stones has had a tough time, but he's so talented. He's probably England's best centre back, really. So, you know, it's just City have found this new, I wouldn't say more pragmatic, but I don't know, it's more solid, isn't it? In there, so that, and they've still got all them wonderful players, and, you know, playing without strikers worked really well for them as well.
Here is Ilkay Gundogan. Looks for Kyle Walker, but he leaves it. He knows Riyad Mahrez is going to come toward it. Tries to take on Jallo. It's good defending by Jallo. Just stood up against the Algerian, who is, we know, likes to come in from that right onto his left foot. Verratti to Jallo. Not the best ball by the Paris Saint-Germain left-back. De Bruyne to Foden. He likes to try and slide it through to Mahrez on this occasion, but he's unsuccessful as it's blocked by the Paris Saint-Germain defence. Herrera with the Ball forward toward Neymar, and Ruben Diaz comes across to head it up for a throw. 26 minutes played. It's Manchester City 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0 at the Etihad Stadium in this UEFA Champions League second leg.
You would have to say whoever gets through here is the favourite for the final. Both of these sides, in my opinion, of course, are better than Chelsea and Real Madrid.
And of course, the final is in 25 days' time. And of course, it is Manchester City as it stands getting there. Is Neymar as he's bearing down toward Manchester City's goal. Lays it to Verratti, who's on the edge of the box. Now Di Maria will clip it high towards Ander Herrera, who had a swing at it, but he's completely missed it, and it's gone out of play for a Manchester City goal kick, and a rare poor delivery there by Angel Di Maria.
I thought Neymar was going to shoot. He seemed like he worked the space, got it on his left foot, and then he played a bit of Verratti, and the chance sort of went away. But, you know, that they're still... That move all started with a clever pass through the lines and Herrera was away. So, you know, PSG have still got to be encouraged, but the problem is they are, like, gradually starting to run out of time.
27 minutes on the clock. 18 minutes of this first half to play. Here's Bernardo Silva. Now out on the right to Kyle Walker. Of course, Bernardo Silva played his football in France with Monaco, and of course was a semi-finalist with them in 2017. Foden chips it to De Bruyne. You thought he was going to get a touch to it there, but Florenzi just flicked it away, and then De Bruyne lets it run for a corner, which is a corner down the PSG left-hand side.
Crucial intervention by Florenzi. What a delightful ball over the top that is by Foden, and crucial intervention by the former Roma man there.
Well, it was a beautiful ball by Foden, wasn't it? It was the audacity for him to even try it. They have gone short from this. De Bruyne with the ball in. It is headed away. Foden now has it to Walker. He now spreads it to the right with Riyad Mahrez, the Manchester City goal scorer. Good delivery in there. Kimpembe away. Good header as well. Verratti will get that under control. Holds it up with his back toward his goal. And, of course, wins a foul as Fernandinho was just a little bit too keen there to win it off him in PSG's own half, which PSG take quickly from this free kick. Now Neymar driving forward. Walker does well to stand up against the Brazilian and knock it back to Ederson. That was absolutely exemplary defending by Walker there, wasn't it?
Kyle Walker may be in his 30s, but he's still got that absolutely daft recovery pace there, because he took a loose touch there, but it just put the afterburners on, won it back, and City come again.
Here's Riyad Mahrez. Foden is the man on the inside of him. Mahrez gets it back. Now Gundogan to the Algerian Mahrez once more. Now is Kyle Walker. We saw early on, Jack, that there was a lot of urgency and a real desire for PSG to go and win the ball. But the last few minutes, that has just seemed to sort of fade away, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I don't know if maybe that's maybe part of the game plan, perhaps, because, you know, you can't press like that for 90 minutes, no matter how fit you are, to be honest, especially against Man City. But it has allowed Guardiola's side to come back into the game in the last sort of 5 minutes or so, and we'll have to see if they punish PSG anymore.
Here is Foden. Here's Gundogan. Now De Bruyne. If you want anybody in the middle from that sort of range, it is De Bruyne. He tries his luck. He just waited for his chance to try and bend it around the goalkeeper, Keylor Navas, and he did bend it round the keeper, but unfortunately he bent it round the post and seen well wide by Navas. Yeah,
it was a good effort from De Bruyne, so he's going for that postage stamp top corner, and we've seen him do it so many times, but not on this occasion.
Florenzi gets it short from Marquinhos, who gets it back. Now is Presnel Kimpembe. We're into the 30th minute mark, quarter of an hour of the first half to play. Game you're listening to on Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative commentaries. Currently Manchester City 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Manchester City, of course, were 2-1 up from the first leg. They went a goal down from Marquinhos scoring in the first leg. And then, of course, it was goals from Kevin De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez that saw Manchester City win in the French capital to give them that first leg lead to take into tonight's second leg. Lovely ball by Neymar up to the right with Florenzi. Forward he comes to Di Maria, dummied it. I think he's believed that either Icardi or Neymar are directly behind him, but Kyle Walker has brought that out a long way and had Di Maria got a shout behind him there, he would have certainly tried to dummy that there in the Manchester City box and probably took it under control and probably got a shot away.
I can't believe he dummied it. I don't know why. As you say, he must have got a shout, but there was no one there. So I'm baffled. It's another big chance because he would have had a clear shot from about 12 yards out.
Verratti was put under pressure from De Bruyne there. It looked like Di Maria had sold him short inside the Manchester City half, around 35 yards out, but he did very, very well to just turn away and give it back to his centre-back. Not the best ball. Kimpembe has to lunge in and stop the ball getting took under control. Neymar's fouled. Free kick's taken quickly by Paredes. Here's Jallo. He gets the cross in. Stones watches it and clears. Paredes slides in, but Marquinhos is up from centre-back. Very, very high as well to try and keep the attack alive for Paris Saint-Germain as they are desperate to equalise. They've had a lot of chances. Marquinhos has hit the bar. There's been a chance for Di Maria as much as anything else. And, of course, there was a chance for Neymar as well, but it has not just quite happened for the French side so far. But they can take plenty of encouragement, but they need to try and get a goal as quickly as they can. Here's Di Maria now to Neymar. Jallo is in acres of space down that left. Neymar might go it alone here. Does eventually find Jallo. Now Verratti. Manchester City scramble players back to not allow PSG to move any further forward. Marquinhos with the clip ball to the back post, but it's too short and is easy for Ederson to catch. And that is mass relief amongst the Manchester City defence.
Hate to say it again, but Neymar holding on to the ball too long. He had Jallo on the overlap. He could have gone onto his right foot, but he just seemed to want to hold onto it for that extra touch. And here goes Foden.
Foden's now down this left-hand side. Just takes it in his stride, the English midfielder. Such a gifted player. There is so much promise, so much hope that Foden can shine at this summer's Euros for Gareth Southgate and England, of course. And he won't be the only Manchester City player going to the Euros, I wouldn't expect. But that was a really poor ball by Fernandinho. Icardi now gives it to Neymar. Walker is... he shows excellent recovery pace to stop Neymar there, bringing the ball forward. A bit of a tongue-tied episode for me there. Here's Kimpembe to Jallo. Now, Paredes. Jallo has pretty much spent the majority of this game inside Manchester City's half, given how high he's been and at times how much freedom and space he's had down the Manchester City left. Di Maria,
I'd love to see his average position.
It is very interesting, isn't it? If you saw a heat map, he'd pretty much have red dots just circled around the 18-yard box of Manchester City, isn't it? But now we're starting to see with PSG, Jack, a more patient approach. You think they'll do this now for the final 11 minutes of this first half?
Yeah, maybe try and conserve a bit of energy. I would assume Mbappe will come on at some point, so they want to have something in the tank. But I mean, I know they're 1-0 down, but I've been really impressed with them in this first half. They've played some excellent football, just not quite the end product, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely right. Of course, Mbappe, who we've spoken about a lot during the 34 and a half minutes, of course, came into this as a real doubt with a calf problem. Mauricio Pochettino said he would make the decision last minute whether or not the PSG number 7 would start and tipped to be future global star of this sport is going to have to play a part in the second leg from the bench. He'll be determined to have his say on this tie, given he was shut out very, very well at the Parc des Princes last week, which was a real testament to Manchester City to keep a player of his quality quiet. Di Maria gets the ball in. It's gone off Walker, but Jallo, fortunately for PSG there, it's come to Herrera, who turns and shoots, and it hits the stanchion over Ederson's goal and in the middle behind the goal. But again, Herrera found that space in the area, but it was off target. And it felt like for me that Herrera should have done a little bit better, and he might have just rushed the shot there.
Yeah, former Man United man obviously would have loved to see that go in the net, wouldn't he, for more reasons than one. But yeah, I can see what you mean. I think he's gone for that dip and effort on his left foot. Maybe he could take another touch, pull it across the goalkeeper rather. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly see that. That's a terrible ball by Edison, Christ.
Of course, Edison made a real horrendous error that allowed Di Maria a chance to try his luck from around 18 yards, but he got away with it there as he played the ball way beyond Ilkay Gundogan. Here is Mahrez, Foden, Mahrez again. Manchester City will be, no doubt about it, quite happy that they're going to go into the break as it stands, 1 goal up, because it has been all Paris Saint-Germain in that first half as Jallo goes into the back of Bernardo Silva and Manchester City, win a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, Guardiola will be absolutely delighted with this one. I mean, his team haven't played that well, but they have a 1-0 lead. They have the advantage. It looks like they're going to be through the Champions League final as it stands. And Guardiola's edging closer and closer to finally, getting that one last monkey off his back at Manchester City. Because then after that, I mean, he truly has won everything. And I mean, if he's not already, he's got to be up there then after that for Manchester City's greatest ever manager. I would have thought.
It's a Manchester City free kick here, which PSG have got to organise the troops and make sure they are in a good defensive line and don't allow any Manchester City chance to come from this. De Bruyne and Mahrez are over this. It's in by De Bruyne, away by Jallo, who volleys it away. Neymar then nods it down to Di Maria. It's another handball against the Manchester City player. This time, I think it was De Bruyne who was penalised for charging the ball down there. Here is Neymar, skips away from Mahrez. See you later, says the Brazilian, as he now does go into Manchester City's half. Verratti to Paredes. Of course, we've got the second semi-final on Football Commentary Live, home of alternative commentary tomorrow as Chelsea entertain Real Madrid. And then Neymar and Bernardo Silva now wanting words. And I said, after Herrera and Gundogan had a bit of a argument, that it wouldn't be the last. And I've just been proved right there with Neymar and Bernardo having a few choice words with each other.
Neymar's so highly strung, isn't he? I mean, Bernardo Silva's not done a lot wrong there. I mean, he's caught him. There was probably no need for the tackle, but what he's done is he's got his reaction from Neymar, and that's probably exactly what he wanted.
Well, he does display his emotions rather easily, doesn't he, Neymar, at times? He can throw his toys at the pram, so to speak, in some cases. Di Maria with the crossing, not the best deliveries. Zinchenko with the touch away, but PSG still have possession here with Verratti, who spins away from De Bruyne, now out to the left with Abdou Jallo. Here is Kimpembe, who stayed up from the back. Verratti to Kimpembe once more. Surely got to get the cross in. Does. It's gone off John Stones, and then Walker just smashes it clear as Keylor Navas is going to come a long way from his goal to pick up possession for Paris Saint-Germain.
Verratti is an absolutely delightful player. That little flick, that turn there to find the space and then slide that perfect ball through Jallo that just allowed him to come on at first time and get the cross in. I've just been watching him for most of the first half, to be honest, because he is absolutely fantastic to watch.
He is a player that really has shown over the years that he can be such a delight to watch, as Jack has mentioned, and I do share that same opinion. What a player he is, but it's been given away by Kimpembe. Is a counter-attack on for City. De Bruyne to Bernardo Silva. Just waits for Foden to come up in support. Does find Foden, who's in the PSG box. Mahrez tries to lay it onto the edge of the box to Gundogan, but Paredes knew exactly where Mahrez is going to put that ball. And now Manchester City have won it with Gundogan. He's very tenacious in trying to keep it forward. De Bruyne then knocks it forward to Gundogan. Then Kimpembe bounces it off Gundogan as it goes behind him. Zinchenko now to Mahrez as we're entering the final 5 minutes of what's been at times a real pulsating first half with Manchester City 1 goal up here. Here's Di Maria. He's going to, as it stands, have to do it all on his own. He just tried to poke it through to Verratti. It was rather rushed there by Di Maria there as Kyle Walker comes away, but Di Maria's just got to retain the ball just a little bit longer there, hasn't he?
Yeah, Verratti's not Neymar. As we said, he's an excellent player, but he's not the fastest man on the pitch. Di Maria, lack of composure there, really, because he could certainly have held on the ball for a bit longer, and PSG would have had a 3-on-3, really.
Fernandinho now to Gundogan. What is striking in the PSG midfield ranks tonight, Jack, is you look at Paredes, you look at Herrera and Verratti. Verratti's a deep creator. Herrera's a box-to-box man, but there is nobody high up the pitch who's really going to go and create, is there, seeing where Di Maria and Neymar have occupied positions. We will go and talk about that in just a few minutes. The City come forward. Zinchenko gets it from Foden on the corner of the left-hand box. He gives it to De Bruyne. Now to Mahrez. Tried to turn, but it's good defending from Marquinhos there. But just going back to that point I made, you do worry about the midfield, where the creativity through the middle is going to come from.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it, and I feel that Verratti's been sort of taken up maybe a sort of a number 8 position, a bit further up. But Paredes has been high up, and Herrera have been high up as well. So they've sort of been rotating. By no means, there's no natural, for example, a Draxler or someone like that who could play in that position.
Cardi gets it from Di Maria. Cardi's been very, very quiet in this first half as the Argentinian, of course, bought from Inter Milan last summer after a successful loan, but then the ball through to Foden is defended well by Marquinhos, a player who really does ooze class. He is somebody who's very underrated amongst the European football pundits, is Marquinhos, and the PSG skipper, someone who's been a real talisman at the back. And of course, I can remember watching the semi-final against Leipzig last year in which he scored, and really did impress me that night at the Estadio de Luz, or as it's translated in English to the Stadium of Light.
Yeah,
Paredes to Marquinhos. To Florenzi. Don't think Jack Cunningham liked that I did mention the Stadium of Light in this particular commentary, so I do apologise for that, Jack.
No, I'm just making sure everyone doesn't realise it was in Sunderland. Imagine that. Champions League semi-final in Sunderland.
You probably wouldn't hear the end of it being a true Geordie. Here is Neymar, though, as he gets the shot away. It's blocked off by John Stones. PSG still have it here with Marco Verratti. Will they get an equaliser in halftime? It has gone through to Neymar. He's got 3 Man City players right in front of him. Herrera gets the cross in, but it's cannoned off Diaz's face for a Manchester City corner. They were just plucking their way there, weren't they, Paris Saint-Germain? But the door was slammed shut by Manchester City.
Yeah, lovely feet in the box from both Verratti and Neymar. What a block by Diaz that is. Just if you want commitment, just throwing his face in the front of it. Doesn't care. That's what you want to see.
Doesn't even wince, neither does Ruben Diaz. He's a real steel type defender, isn't he? In goes the corner. It is headed away. It was Di Maria who put the ball in. Fernandinho headed it to the other flank with Walker, who then brings it to Bernardo Silva. Manchester City are 4-on-4 here, as now Bernardo Silva gives it to Mahrez on the right-hand side. Mahrez crosses in. Not the best delivery, which is cleared away well there by Marco Verratti. As Icardi and Walker went for it. They both missed it, but there to tidy up was John Stones. What would be disastrous if PSG were to concede right on half-time, with Manchester City currently 1-0 up. If it goes to 4-1 on aggregate, you really do think that that is game over and tie over. Here's Neymar, though. Could PSG be about to change the script? Icardi with the touch to Di Maria, who might go on his left foot. Does try and roll it onto it, but it is defended well by Manchester City there, as they didn't allow the shot or the ball to come from Di Maria. As Marquinhos clears it, but it's gone off Foden, which sees Florenzi take the throw quickly. We're into the final 40 seconds of normal time. Kimpembe to Jallo. Now gives it to Ander Herrera. Paredes receives it. Manchester City looking like they just want to hold on to what they've currently got, which they've had since the 10th minute, courtesy of a Riyad Mahrez goal. Of course, he scored in the second leg win at Borussia Dortmund at Signal Iduna Park, and he scored the winner in the first leg that saw Manchester City triumph 2-1 at the Parc des Princes 6 days ago. 3 minutes of additional time.
He's come up with some big goals, hasn't he?
To Herrera. To Di Maria. Ball goes in. Ederson and Stones both went for it, but Stones is able to head it only out to Di Maria here. Looks to try and get on his left foot. Zinchenko closes the angle down through the middle, and he does superbly well to keep that in there, the Ukrainian. As he looked like he had managed to touch that out. But here's De Bruyne now, looking to just toy with Marquinhos in the final exchanges of the first half, in which it hasn't been vintage Manchester City, but they are importantly in front. Is that the fairest thing you could say, Jack, on that first
Yeah, I
half?
mean, I think that I know we have praised PSG a lot in this first half, but I think in the last sort of 10, 15 minutes, I think City have solidified a lot more. I don't think PSG have been breaking the lines as much as they were, and still on the counter attack with the players they have, they look a real threat. Going back, that one that was probably a couple of minutes ago now when they had a 4-on-3, and Bernardo Silva chose to play to Mahrez instead of De Bruyne on the far side. If he found De Bruyne on the far side, he was probably in, and it could have been game over. So let's not consider how Man City can do it. Oh,
Mahrez gets the shot away. It's spilled by Navas, and then Bernardo Silva tries the curler. It took a nick off a PSG head. It came to Mahrez, who, as we know, just rolls that onto his left. He drilled it at Navas, just like he did for the opening goal of this encounter. Navas saved it. Then came to Bernardo Silva. His shot got blocked. PSG just about doing off there as Man City have got a corner, and it's Kimpembe who headed it behind as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about how dangerous City are there, and could have been 2-0 just like that. I mean, good shot by Mahrez, good save at the front post, and quite a lucky block in the end because he's got his arms behind his back. He's not really in full control of it, but he got away with it, did the job done.
De Bruyne with the corner in. Navas was under no pressure and decided to just palm that away. And then Mahrez with the ball in. It's Diaz with the header. It's bounced off. Florenzi. It's another Manchester City corner.
Oh, they're ending the half strongly, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big thing there quickly was just Navas there. He had no blue shirt around him in a small vicinity, and he decided to just palm it away. And that could be costly here as he conceded another corner. De Bruyne with the ball in, away by Paredes there, a real vital header away. And that looks like that might be that in terms of first half action, or maybe not, as De Bruyne takes the throw quickly, gets it back from Zinchenko. Now that will be that for the first half as Mauricio Pochettino just waits for confirmation of the Dutch referee, Bjorn Kuipers' whistle. And there we go. It is half-time as Mauricio Pochettino jogs up the steps toward the Manchester City visiting changing room. Well, PSG started the game like a house on fire. They were out of the traps fast, and you could tell they were hurt by the idea of them being 2-1 down after the first leg. But after a penalty that got overturned by VAR, courtesy of a handball off Zinchenko, it then saw Manchester City just a few minutes later score for Riyad Mahrez, who got it on his left foot and just stroked it under the legs of Keylor Navas to score for the third Champions League game running. But PSG have had the better of the chances, but ultimately they're behind on aggregate by 3-1, and they're behind on the night in the second leg at the Etihad. Man City 1, PSG 0.
Thank you very much, Jack, as you've just joined me as a free kick was headed on by Luton on goal, but I think he's by Sonny Bradley at the back. The number 6 for Luton, Townie Pearson with the header just on target, but couldn't keep his header down. And Rotherham survived. Rotherham have had a few chances of their own. Matt Crooks a few moments ago headed just wide here as the ball is up towards Chiodozie Ogbenny. Well, then the substitutes Fowler Miller's almost getting on that far side as Ben Wiles knocks the ball forward. It's picked up by Lewis Wing over the top for Chiodozie Ogbenny. Can the Millers get a goal here now? So he comes off Sonny Bradley and out for a Miller's throw, which will look to be taken by their right back, who's been playing right wing back today, Wes Harding, and he will look to do one of his long throws into the penalty area. Rotherham having the majority of the possession in the last few minutes. Both teams having the chances. Harding takes it back to Lewis Wing, brings it down on his chest, tries to get it back to Harding, but Luton regain possession. He's hooked clear to Joe Mattock, to not back to his goalkeeper Jamal Blackman, who has done well this evening for the Millers. His goal kick has gone all the way through to Simon Sluga, and it's still 0-0 here at Kenilworth Road in the game, which I am watching for you all this evening. As the ball is forward again, it comes off the head of Richard Wood, falls kindly for Luton, and a strike comes in from the edge of the penalty area, well over the bar there in the end from Adebayo after Richard Wood's header was picked up by Keenan Dewsbury. All who has done fantastically well so far this evening in this championship game for Luton. He's been the standout player as Rotherham will look to fight and stay in the division. Luton are looking, if they get a point, will be finishing in the top half. I think it's the highest they've ever done in their history in the championship. We'll be fetching in our summariser from the Man City game very soon to get his reaction to the first half, in which Manchester City are leading by a goal to nil and 3-1 on aggregate. Fantastic commentary so far by the duo that we have got on show today, Matt Iles and Jack Cunningham. Will be getting their thoughts on the game in a few moments as we watch Luton come forward over on the far side into the penalty area. Michael Ekwa does well to get the ball clear. Ryan Giles can't pick it up for the Millers, and now it's out wide for Luton with Ray. As we bring now to Pearson. Now it's with Dewsbury all onto the edge of the penalty area. A strike from the edge of the box is just wayward there from the Luton man. I think if I just try and work, it was Naismith who had that effort, but he just couldn't keep his effort down and on target. The Millers are still joined by 0-0 in this game, and the Millers will be wanting to hopefully get a positive result to go into the final day against Charlton with relegation fears in their hands and survival in their hands. It could still work in their favour today with a draw. I'll tell you how that is the case. Lincoln in League One have put a goal back against Charlton Athletic. It is still Charlton 3, Lincoln 1. You'll see the scores going across the bottom of the screen very, very soon from the other matches being played today, including the Luton Town game. We've got Mike's comments in. He says, Ray Morris is the best winger in the Premier League. He was class last week. Looks like he's continuing it tonight. We will try and get the thoughts of Jack in just a couple of minutes. Well, that is half time in the Man City game. There's the scores going across the bottom with the news if it's full time or still latest scores. Without FT on the side, it is still latest scores. We have got Jack back as Luton win a throw over on that far side, and to fetch Jack in for a moment here as we turn our attention back to the game which we are covering, focusing on here on Football Commentary Live tonight. And Jack, looking on that first half, what did you make to the first half, and who would you think the happier of the two managers would be at half time? Jack, are you there? With a few technical difficulties, can't hear Jack if he is trying to talk to us. We'll try and re-establish our connection to Jack in a few moments. As Rotherham win the corner with the ball in towards the penalty area. Headed away by Luton in towards been on the edge of the box. Now Luton will lose out to Freddie Ladapo, who came off for Michael Smith. Ladapo also well. Knocks the ball back and is hit forward. Crooks is after this. Forget Sonny Bradley. Will they make Bradley play the ball? He won't as the ball runs out of play. We'll try and fetch Jack back in right now. And Jack, are you there, mate? Hello, Jack, are you there?
Hello.
You alright, Jack? How you doing, mate? You okay? Can't seem to hear Jack at the moment in time. Will we try and re-establish our connections with Jack in a few moments' time here on Football Commentary Live? We'll try and re-establish our connection to Jack in a second. We'll try and re-establish that in a second as Rotherham have a free kick which they'll be looking to take forward here by Blackman up towards Fediladapo, flicks on, and he wins a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, and Rotherham United have a free kick. We'll try and fetch Jab back in a second. Hopefully he can still hear me. We'll try and fetch Matt in for a moment. Are you there, Matt?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, Ross.
What did you make to that first half, mate? We'll try to get Jack in, but we couldn't seem to get a connection to him. But what did you make to that first half in the featured match between Manchester City and PSG?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jack was making some excellent points on commentary. PSG started very, very quickly, right on the front foot. You know, they knew that they wanted to get an early goal just to shake Manchester City up and, you know, say that, you know, we are in this tie. We want to win it just as much as you. And we're hurt that you came to our, you know, ground, if you like, and got a win. To be honest, I think it was disappointing for that they've conceded a goal as they did. You know, De Bruyne obviously got time to shoot. It was a really good block. I think it was Kimpembe that blocked it. It came to Mahrez. He just rolled it into the back of the net and under the legs of Keylor Navas and put it in for 1-0. Then after that, of course, Marquinhos hit the bar. We saw Di Maria go close with that curling effort. And, you know, Manchester City have been living dangerously a little bit at times. But, you know, PSG have done everything apart from scoring that first half. And Manchester City will be pretty relieved that it's only 1-0 in this game and that the scoreline's in their favour.
Yes, in fact, indeed they will, Matt. Indeed they will. As we try and connect Jack to us. And Jack, can you hear us, mate?
Yeah, so I could hear Matt, but I couldn't hear you. So I don't know. I don't know what was going on there. I have no idea what happened. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
what were we going to ask us?
What did you make to that first half, Jack?
It was brilliant. As a neutral, I absolutely loved it. That is what elite football is about. When you're watching the Champions League semi-final, you want to see two amazing teams trying to play through the lines. No one really, like, City are defending, but they're not defending like as a low block as how like a Burnley or a Newcastle would defend against City. They're defending high intensity. They're closing down the space, but also PSG have got the quality to split them open and split them apart. And then City on the break have got Mahrez, they've got De Bruyne, they've got Bernardo Silva, they've got Phil Foden. I just love it. I just love it. It's a great game. You know, I think whoever wins this, I said it in the first half, whoever wins this, I think will win the Champions League final because I think they're better than PSG or Real Madrid, not PSG, Real Madrid or Chelsea.
Yes, if you look at that first half as well, Jack, who would you say would be the happier of the two managers in that first half? Would you say it'd be Pep Guardiola or would you say it'd be Maurizio Pochettino? But if you just hang fire to that question, as Rotherham United look to try and win the ball there into Fediladapo, Ladapo slips in the moment and it's offside anyway. Look like Ladapo being brought down in the penalty area in the match. Cunningham thrown, but Ladapo was flagged offside. But when the ball was played in by Ryan Giles, he looks as he's onside to me. The knee of Sonny Bradley plays him on, and the flag went up. Was offside. But Jab, who do you think would be the happier of the two managers in that first half at the Etihad in our featured match?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I think because of Champions League semi-final second leg, ultimately it's the result that matters. So Guardiola will be the happier, but Pochettino, I don't think he'll be ripping into his players or anything like that because they've played some gorgeous stuff in the first half. Unlucky at the crossbar. There was a couple of other opportunities that went just wide from Di Maria. So Pochettino will be happy, but ultimately he can't be happy with the scoreline. Meanwhile, Guardiola will be absolutely delighted with the scoreline. Maybe not too happy with his performance, but he won't really mind if they get through the Champions League final.
Yes, you're absolutely spot on there, Jack. And Matt, would you agree with Jack's assessment there that it'd be probably both managers would be fairly happy with what they've seen so far?
Yeah, both two different outlooks on it, of course. Manchester City being happy because they are leading. They are, you'd have to say now, 70% of the way there, of course. And as that second half's going to tick on, it'll be even closer toward getting to Istanbul. Obviously, Pochettino, his team were the better of the two in that first half. Unfortunately, they just couldn't break through, but they had a lot of encouragement. Di Maria for the majority of that first half was looking sharp. I thought, we still haven't really seen the best of Neymar yet. If anybody's going to score, it feels like it's Di Maria. I thought Jalo was really making some good runs for PSG in that first half. But as Jack said, it's a fantastic game to feast your eyes on. And, we wanted some high-octane football from both these great sides that we are seeing, great players and two good managers. And, it's really got the makings to be an absolute classic in this second half. And if it stays 1-0, come the end, I will be absolutely astounded. Let me tell you that, Russ.
Yes, the second half will be kicking off very, very soon. We'll be handing back over to Jack and to Matt in a few moments. As Rotherham just had a free kick up towards the edge of the Luton Town penalty area. Benoit's wins the header in the middle of the park. Ogbene tries to win it as well for the Millers. It's now ball with Matt Crooks, who keeps the ball in play for the Millers, and Lewis Wing plays the ball backwards. Flicked on, looking towards Freddie Ladapo, cleared away by Luton. Luton have the ball now, and Rotherham win the ball back brilliantly. He's now with Joe Mattock, who whips the ball towards Ryan Giles and Freddie Ladapo. Freddie Ladapo has got Ryan Giles on the inside of him. Ladapo takes away past one. Freddie Ladapo still going. Edge of the penalty area from Ladapo. Ball in towards the penalty area, towards the back post. Cleared away, but Richard Wood wins the ball back for the Millers, and he goes out for a throw to Luton. We've got 4 minutes stoppage time there. I think the teams will be probably right about coming out at the Etihad for the second half any moment right now. Teams are back out, I've just been told. So let's hand back over to our commentary team of Jack Cunningham and first, Matt Iles.
Thank you very much, Russ. So the second half almost going to get underway. The PSG players just congregating in the tunnel. The Manchester City players went out just a few minutes before as we see the likes of Paredes, Icardi and Di Maria back onto the pitch. There were some more brighter sparks than others in that first half of PSG, of course, with Mbappe on the bench. You do feel that he'll be coming on very, very soon if it does stay like this. But Jack, you spoke on commentary about Di Maria and how he was exciting you. What does his, namesake Neymar need to do, the number 10? Because we spoke about in the early part of this game, he's got to be the shining light. He's always the one that people are going to, point the magnifying glass over, aren't they? What did you make of him in that first half?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with Neymar, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, if I'm going back to the beginning of the first half, he gave away 2 passes straight away, and I was like, is this going to be a sign of his night? And it sort of has been. Just because he's the main man without Mbappe doesn't mean that he has to do it all by himself. And I feel that that's kind of maybe the attitude he's taken towards it. If you're being the main man, that means you make the right decisions. You are the focal point of the team, but you're always the one who's making the right decisions. There's been a few times where he could have had a shot and he decided to cling on the ball a bit longer to try and dribble further, or he could have played a pass through to someone and he held on the ball too long and the chance went away. So he's going to have to just release the ball quicker, really, because we know how talented he is. We know how gifted he is as a player on the ball. He's like graceful. He's gorgeous. He's brilliant. But we need to see it in this game. He hasn't done it enough really in the big games for PSG in this time that he's been there. Can he now in this second half inspire what would be an absolutely incredible comeback from the Parisians?
Well, you've got to remember, of course, Manchester City hold a 1-0 lead from the end of that first half. They 3-1 up on aggregate. Remember, if PSG were to score 2 in this second half, it would go to extra time and no reply from Manchester City. But, of course, if PSG were to get 3 and Manchester City weren't to score, they would go through 4-3 on aggregate as the second half does get us underway. It is Manchester City that do so in their usual light blue shirts, white shorts, light blue socks. Paris Saint-Germain in their dark blue all kit, of course, with that large red stripe down the middle of that shirt. Here is De Bruyne looking for Bernardo Silva. It's come back to De Bruyne with a lot of the hailstones that were loitering on the pitch in that first half well and truly cleared. So the ground staff have done a good job with that as well. I'll just go through the two sides. Manchester City are Ederson, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Zinchenko, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Mahrez, Silva, Foden, De Bruyne. PSG are Navas, Florenzi, Marquinhos, Kimpembe, Jallo, Paredes, Herrera, Verratti, Neymar, Di Maria and Icardi. The subs, Manchester City, Stefan, Carson, Ake, Laporte, Mendy, Cancelo, Rodri, Torres, Sterling, Jesus, Aguero, and PSG, Sergio Rico, Matya, Radri Amami, Thilo Kehrer, Mitchell Bakker, Livan Kazava, Colin Dagba, Rafinha, Pereira, Sarabia, Draxler, and Kylian Mbappe, which of course is the most notable name of any of those 22 subs. Here is now De Bruyne in the opening 90 seconds of this second half for Manchester City. Is Riyad Mahrez to Fernandinho. Now to Zinchenko, who's really improved this season, both attacking and defensively as the Ukrainian. And of course, he was signed in Guardiola's very first transfer window as Manchester City manager for 1.8 million from FC Ufa, which is an absolute steal in my book. 2 minutes gone of this second half. Manchester City 1, PSG 0 at the
I've been impressed. I've been impressed with the start City have made the first half. PSG want to come out, get into their faces, but they haven't really had any of the ball so far. And I'm glad you mentioned Zinchenko because he's been a player who, as you say, in the world of what ridiculous transfer fees that we have, what a bargain that has been for Manchester City, especially how consistently now he plays and how well he plays as well.
Well, with Zinchenko, his Manchester City career was nearly cut short back in 2018. Wolves were looking at him and he wanted to stay and fight for his place, and he's found a home as a left back. He, of course, arrived at City as a winger, the Ukrainian, but just goes to show Guardiola's management and tactics that he has taken a talent and adopted a new role for him, which is what is a real theme of Guardiola's management throughout his time at various clubs, including Barca, Bayern Munich and Manchester City. And we have actually seen that to some degree with other players in Manchester during his 5 years at the club. Here's Verratti as he breaks through the lines of the Manchester City midfield. Now Di Maria, first chance for him in the second half, while blocked by Ruben Diaz, who's there once again making a vital block to stop PSG getting a shot at Ederson's goal, or a cross for that fact as well.
How good was that by Verratti there? The balance, the poise. He had 3 men on him and he just glided through them all. And then he picked out the perfect pass for Di Maria as well. But unfortunately, nothing came from it.
Well, Manchester City, of course, will be, as it stands, going to the Champions League final in Istanbul, a ground and a city very familiar to Liverpool fans after the miracle of Istanbul 16 years ago that it was billed as. It's a game on the very edge of Europe as it's touching Asia, and that's where Manchester City will be, as they are on the edge, you could say, of reaching the Champions League final, as Jallo is penalised for blocking off Riyad Mahrez right in front of Pep Guardiola and Mauricio Pochettino. No complaints there from Jallo, I don't think, Jack.
Yeah, Jallo there, totally blocking off Mahrez. Maybe not so blatant that he'd get a yellow card for it, but yeah, it's a blatant foul, isn't it?
So it will be Walker who will take this free kick for Manchester City inside their own half. He looks diagonally for Zinchenko, who he picks out very, very well. The English right back, you think you'd have to say, has pretty much got his berth right back for England pretty much secure, don't you think? It is a position that is up for debate and has been for the last few weeks and months, as Mahrez is fouled by Jallo, who fouls him once again, just as he did around about 30 seconds ago. And if Jallo carries on like that, I think he'll be getting a booking.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that one's a bit more lucky. I don't know. I feel that he's used his body more so than actually checking him off. But I can see why the referee also give it. But yeah, but Jallo, definitely, that's 2 fouls in very, very quick succession. Made a foul in the first half as well.
3 fouls to his name. Still no booking for Abdou Jallo, of course, who arrived from Borussia Dortmund nearly 2 years ago now. A man who, of course, began his career in France with Monaco before venturing with Germany into the likes of Mainz and Borussia Dortmund, as I did mention. Here is Kimpembe bringing it forward. Now just plays it along the floor to Abdou Jallo. Now to Verratti, who is fouled by Fernandinho. He did that a few times in the first half, did the Manchester City skipper. And Bjorn Kuipers has been very, very lenient tonight, hasn't he? The Dutch referees just tried to let the game flow as much as he can and almost resort to not giving out bookings, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But do you not always just think Fernandinho gets away with that all the time, just because referees say, "Oh, it's his play style," so he's just allowed to do what he wants?
It is a very interesting thing, to say the least, when it comes to Fernandinho. He is a player, even before Guardiola came in, was always that enforcer type in the Manchester City team under Pellegrini. As the ball has gone through to Verratti, as it's cannoned off Walker and out for the first corner of the second half, which has gone Paris Saint-Germain's way. Their set pieces really didn't cause Manchester City a lot of problems. The ones from corners anyway. Let's hope the second half it's a different story. As Di Maria delivers this one in. It's away by Fernandinho. A real dominant header away out for a PSG throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, there was 3 City players queuing up there to get it away, wasn't there? So
it's actually gone for a corner for that fact, as Di Maria is going to take it. Bjorn Kuipers tells Di Maria to delay it, but he now will be able to take it this time. In it goes. And it's given as a foul against Paredes, who fouled a Manchester City player in now. I could not tell you who that was. Hopefully you could tell me who that was, Jack, but it's a free kick to Manchester City inside their own half.
he got pushed over by Diaz. I don't know what the free kick's been given for.
I'm really not sure about that, but there we go. I mean, if you're penalised for actually being fouled yourself, I think that might be a new law that needs to be added to the IFAB, I think. But anyway, that's one of the more strangest decisions that we've seen, as we are 7.5 minutes into this second half in Manchester City 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. And what's your early observations of this second half, Jack? Because it feels like Manchester City are very much managing the game to how they want to. Do you think Guardiola just said that they need to be doing better at that?
I think you've just hit the nail on the head there. Managing the game. We're already 8 minutes in and nothing's happened, and City are very happy with that.
Here is now De Bruyne through to Foden. This might be 2-0. Foden's going to go one-on-one with Navas, but Navas denies him. Vital save. Foden's offside anyway. But had he stayed onside and put that in, that would have definitely been curtains, and that would have been Man City's place sealed in the final. But that's what De Bruyne can do. The right pass, but I'm not sure Foden's actually offside there, for that matter.
No, it looked very close. I mean, we obviously would have seen on VAR, but in the end, it doesn't matter. And I guess the point Foden has to do there is stick it away and then worry about VAR after that. So he should have scored. I mean, don't get us wrong, it's a brilliant save, but one-on-one, that much time, that much quality that he has.
Not the best play by Marquinhos. He gives it straight to Fernandinho. He played the wrong ball. Mahrez was the option. It's come to Foden, and Navas powers it straight down the middle to Paredes, and PSG struggling to clear. Verratti to Marquinhos. They actually managed to work themselves out of the situation impeccably in the end, as Di Maria can't get on the end of Verratti's pass, which just did not have enough power on it. Here's Neymar, though. Di Maria's to his left. He's going to go to his right. It's Neymar. He's going to go it alone. He sends Diaz on the deck, but then he does get the shot away. And then Zinchenko with a vital block. Look at what John Stone's reaction is to that block from Zinchenko. But I can't help but feel Neymar tried to get his name up in lights and made the wrong choice there.
Yeah, he was narrowing the angle all the time. He had Icardi totally free. This is what I was talking about at half time in the first half. Wrong decisions.
Di Maria can't get around Zinchenko. Once again makes a brilliant challenge to stop PSG from getting a shot at Ederson's goal, which has not really been threatened that much for him to make a save, as Bernardo's penalised for a block on Florenzi, and that's a pretty easy spot for the referee to make there, as we are 10 minutes into the second half. Manchester City 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0 on a game you're listening to on Football Commentary Live. 35 more minutes before Manchester City have confirmed their place in a first ever Champions League final. They've been trying for a decade now from their first campaign, in which, of course, they were knocked out in the group stages. It's been a real thing that they've been wanting to win. The Holy Grail. Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal and Tottenham have all reached the final. Some with success, some without success. And Manchester City, of course, are in that big six tag, of course, that tried to break into the proposed Super League, which fell flat and fell on deaf ears. They are the last of the current crop, if you like, that could, and are looking to reach a Champions League final, as De Bruyne has just got absolutely no light blue shirt around him and is having to just sort of stray it forward, but Marquinhos does well to defend that and actually quickly wins that back and doesn't let De Bruyne dwell on that. Really good defensive play there.
Yeah, I mean, but playing De Bruyne as a false forward, he's got better hold up play than most strikers in the Premier League. That's just how good he is.
He just doesn't ever really break stride, does he? He doesn't break sweat, and that's not a bad thing. That is just how good he is, and he is one of those players that just plays the game at his own pace, isn't he? What a phenomenal talent he is and has been ever since he arrived at Manchester City all those years ago. And here he is playing that ball to Mahrez. Didn't quite come off as he intended to, as Neymar lets it run out of play for a throw-in. But I think now maybe Pochettino, Jack, will be toying with the idea of bringing on Kylian Mbappe.
Well, you've got to say, I mean, if he's even remotely fit enough PSG, you've got to be thinking that they need to play him. I know France have the Euros coming up, and obviously he'll want to be fit for that as well. But this is PSG season right here. I know they can still win, the Ligue 1 title, but they win that so often. This is what it's about. So you'd think Mbappe's got to come on at some point. Otherwise, what was the point of putting him on the bench?
Absolutely. Well, you talk about their form in Ligue 1. It's seeing them currently second place as their title defence has seen a real push from Lille in Monaco. Of course, PSG are 1 point behind Lille with just a few games to go in the French League. Of course, Manchester City can seal the Premier League title on Saturday with a win against Chelsea, regardless of what Manchester United do in their game on Sunday. So that could be two of a potential treble sewn up, just to add to what they did onto the League Cup 9 days ago, in which they were 1-0 winners against Tottenham. Good challenge there by Ander Herrera, who, of course, was booked in the first half for that foul on Bernardo, as he gives it to Navas. And Pochettino and PSG are very confident of playing up from the back, aren't they? And to be fair, they have managed to make it work on most occasions, but their Navas's kick was a really poor one.
Yeah, when they get through, they're in essentially. But City's pressing's been a lot more intense this second half, and they're really seeing out the game so well. This is world-class game management from them so far.
It absolutely is. There was one thing, particularly in Europe, wasn't it, that their game management was often questionable until this season. Guardiola had not taken a Manchester City side through to the semi-finals, as Mahrez has put his hand in the face of Ander Herrera. I think went down rather theatrically, and it's one that Tom Daly would have been quite proud of there as PSG take that free kick quite short inside their own half. Is Navas, a man who actually has never lost a two-legged semi-final that he's played in, which is an absolutely astonishing feat, isn't it? He was a three-time winner with Real Madrid. After winning it 3 years on the bounce from 2016 to 2018, he was a semi-finalist with Paris Saint-Germain last year before they were beaten by Bayern. So his record in this competition is outstanding, but is at the moment been put on the line as they've got half an hour now plus to salvage this in their favour, with time seriously running out against Les Parisiens.
Yeah, I mean, well, you talk about Navas, and I'm trying to think. I think it was 2017-18 semi-final against Bayern Munich over the two legs. He was absolutely unbelievable in that one. Obviously, then Real went on to beat Liverpool. So, yeah, I mean, his records just speaks for itself, doesn't it? But, yeah, I mean, just over 30 minutes to go. Yeah, PSG needs something. They haven't, apart from that Neymar chance, they've had very, very little in the second half.
Here is Neymar on the ball inside his own half. Good challenge there by Riyad Mahrez. Does superbly well, the Algerian. Now is İlkay Gundogan looking to play in his second Champions League final. He was a loser 8 years ago with Borussia Dortmund, remember, in which he scored in that final. But, of course, it ultimately led to defeat at Wembley against Bayern Munich. Herrera now to Paredes. One player I didn't actually mention on the bench, which I do apologise for, is Moise Kean, who is somebody on loan from Everton who's having a good scoring season for PSG. Di Maria with a lovely ball in, looking for Icardi. Well cleared away by John Stones. Had he not been there, you would have felt Icardi would have had a chance. Di Maria with the ball back in. It's Walker above Neymar, and then the shot comes in from Herrera. And once again, Ruben Diaz putting his face in where it hurts and making a vital block. He is somebody who just gets up off the canvas like not even the ball's even hit him in the face. It's absolutely astonishing, isn't it?
What an absolutely brilliant block, because that volley by Herrera was travelling. I don't know if it was on target, but it was certainly travelling at speed, and he's just back up and carrying on like nothing's happening. Yeah, I go to admire him more and more.
Ball from Di Maria is cut up by a Manchester City player, and he's given a handball against Ruben Diaz, has Bjorn Kuipers. That's countless times that's gone against Manchester City in terms of handballs against them in this game, but they're just showing on the TV screen that Ander Herrera shot, and what a shot it was. And there will be some movement from the benches. Moise Kean comes on in place of Mauro Icardi, so a bit more physicality up front for those City centre-backs of Stones and Diaz to contend with, Jack.
Yeah, and Draxler,
for that fact, just before you speak, has come on as well in place of Ander Herrera. Your thoughts on that subs first, but more importantly, the change of Moise Kean coming on.
Yeah, I mean, Moise Kean, obviously, it's not worked for Everton, has it, for him, but he's having a really good season for PSG. I mean, it'd be a great story if he scored some goals to get them through the Champions League final, but Mbappe not coming on yet, that makes me think that maybe he's only got 20 minutes in him, if that, to be honest, because you'd think he would have come on by now.
Neymar with the ball in. It's cleared away by Fernandinho. Marquinhos put his arm in the air to say, where's the handball, ref? Bjorn Kuipers not interested in giving a handball against Manchester City on this occasion. Here comes Foden with a good run now to De Bruyne. Foden is just going to get on the end of it. Crossing it to Mahrez. It's 2-0. Manchester City are well and truly Istanbul bound. It's a second for Riyad Mahrez. His third in this tie. What a devastating counter-attack. It's 2-0 and they are on their way to a first ever UEFA Champions League / European Cup final. Manchester City 2, Paris Saint-Germain 0.
Well, you know, Pochettino had that joy, didn't he, a few years ago here at the Etihad against Guardiola. But this time, the roles are reversed. Guardiola's having all the joy. What an absolutely unbelievable counter-attack that is from City. De Bruyne to Foden. What a ball by Foden. He can't miss Mahrez. And, you know, in the form he's in at the moment in these big Champions League games, he was always sticking that away. And now, well, that is City going into the Champions League final.
Will it be Chelsea joining them to make it a second All-English final in 3 years? Manchester City, now it looks like surely will definitely be there with Riyad Mahrez adding that second. And you almost just felt, didn't you, that if Foden could get that ball well and truly right, Riyad Mahrez was never going to miss. And that has come at a crucial time with 19 minutes of the second half played. And it's Riyad Mahrez who's stuck that ball away. And are we, Jack, about to see the new kings of Europe?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't put it past them, would you? They've been absolutely relentless this season, and they're going to beat excellent PSG team. And in the end, on aggregate, it could be very comfortable. And they play one of Chelsea or Real Madrid, who Chelsea have made massive improvements under Tuchel. Yes, no question. Real Madrid are the Champions League kings under Zidane, but you just wouldn't put it past City, would you? Finally ending that Champions League hoodoo.
Well, of course, as we know, they've been trying for the best part of a decade. They'd only reached one semi-final prior to this one. That was 5 years ago, where Real Madrid under Zinedine Zidane in his first spell dumped them out to leave them heartbroken. They wanted that moment to come. They tried and tried. It never came. They, of course, in that period, managed to get the world's most coveted manager who'd won it so well with Barcelona in 2009 and 2011, with many hailing that as the greatest team of the modern era. And he's looking to do the same with Manchester City. Paredes hits it, and that's just a strike out of pure nothing there. And it was a shot that he hits well and truly into Rowe's head. And it's getting into desperate territory now for Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Russ wants to give us an update on Luton Rotherham. So, Russ, do you want to go ahead and tell us what the final score was in that one?
I will do, Jack. Thank you very much. He finished Luton Town 0, Rotherham United 0, and Rotherham's bid for Championship survival is out of their hands after they drew a blank at Kenilworth Road this evening. Both teams had a fair share of chances, and Luton thought they'd win it in stoppage time when Bradley headed on, but there was a foul on Jamal Blackman inside the penalty area. Rotherham had the chance as well. Matt Crooks, Lewis Wing, and Michael Smith all going closely. Dapper thought he was in when it was just before the second half started, but his flat ball went up for an offside after Giles played him in. Rotherham's now needs to go to Cardiff on Saturday to get a win, or they will be relegated to League One. Derby, no, all they need to do is get a draw against Sheffield Wednesday. If Sheffield Wednesday win and Rotherham win, Rotherham United will stay in the Championship, and Derby and Sheffield Wednesday will be relegated. But survival for Rotherham is out of their hands as Rotherham United draw a blank at Kenilworth Road. Luton Town 0, Rotherham United 0.
Thank you for that, Russ.
Yeah, thank you for that, Russ. Of course, the Championship final day at 12:30 with Rotherham Wednesday and Derby in the mix to go down. Only two of the three can go that are involved. Ball in by Florenzi, cleared away by Diaz as Russ was given his full-time match report on the events that happened at Kenilworth Road. Julian Draxler had a shot blocked by Ruben Diaz. That's not the first time that's been said tonight. Here's Draxler now to Florenzi. Good delivery in there, just a little bit too high for Moise Keane. And then Kyle Walker just heads that behind for a corner, taking no chances there, as it's the French side who've got a corner with Di Maria looking to take it down this left-hand side, as he's got a few men to aim for in there, the Argentine. He whips it in there. Once again, it's Diaz there to head it away. Foden now to De Bruyne. Florenzi just wanted it a little bit more there as he's playing sort of keep ball amongst himself. And then Morris tries to play it through to De Bruyne, but it's gone out for a throw and then out of play for a Paris Saint-Germain throw. But Ruben Diaz has been an absolute rock, not just this game, but this season for Manchester City. And he's got to be going down as signing of the season, hasn't he? Because we talk about how much of a difference Van Dijk is making. Di Maria is going to be sent off, and Paris Saint-Germain's night has just been made even worse. He retaliated with a flick toward Fernandinho, who went down. You almost felt that was something that was always brewing amongst a PSG player. It's happened with Di Maria, which has forced Pochettino to come onto the pitch and calm him down. Bjorn Kuipers shows a red card to Angel Di Maria, and Paris Saint-Germain are imploding here in Manchester.
Yeah, PSG are a wonderful team, aren't they, with fantastic players, but they do come across as spoiled, don't they, when it's not going their way. I mean, what is the need for that? It's so stupid. Why has he done that? There's a VAR. Everyone can see it. There's cameras there. There's no need for it. He's just stood on Fernandinho's foot, kicked out at him. It's a blatant red card. He can have no complaints. And PSG are going to go another season without a Champions League. But they don't help themselves with, you know, you look at the first goal they conceded. In fact, both the goals they conceded last week. Gay, I guess Gana Gay getting sent off. This now happening. They don't help themselves in the end, and Verratti needs to be calmed down. I wouldn't be surprised if they get another player sent off, to be honest.
Well, there is just that thing that plagues PSG, isn't there? As you rightly pointed out, Jack, for all the talent, for all the money they've spent, for all the quality they've got, they just have those players that have short fuses. And if teams can smell that and sniff it out, when it's going against Paris Saint-Germain, it really does come to the foray, doesn't it? It really comes out in the open. And is it nice to see? Because it is petulant. And of course, it's happened with Angel Di Maria. And what must Mauricio Pochettino be thinking? He, of course, has shown an outside persona to protect his player, but he's got to be inside so angry that an incident like that has pretty much, well, it was hard enough as it is, but that's just made the chances even more worse. And there's Verratti going in on Foden, of course. He's now going to have his name taken, and I think there's going to be a few more bookings flying around towards PSG players from now to the end, isn't there?
Well, I mean, I've been praising Verratti for the whole game, but you could see how annoyed he was there. Pochettino had to come on the pitch and calm him down after that red card, and he was literally laughing in the referee's face there because obviously he thinks that Di Maria, well, there's something else going on now.
Well, there's Zinchenko who looks to be involved with something. It's something that's probably happened whilst the replay was being shown of the foul from Verratti. Fernandinho is screaming in his face, telling him to calm down. That's the last thing Manchester City needs to be involved in that fracas, isn't it? And Zinchenko's had his name cheaply taken as a result of it. So Bjorn Kuipers is now going to have multiple eyes in the back of his head, isn't he, to try and keep this game intact and to not send off any more players.
It's been an unbelievable game of football, but it looks like, now tempers are free, and I hope it doesn't spoil it in the end, and I hope, everything carries on. But, I mean, is that what Foden's complete? Is that what Zinchenko's unhappy about? I mean, really? Paredes did actually put his hand to his face there.
Doesn't it, for Paredes?
Well,
he put his arm on his neck. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, VR not looking at that?
No, they're not. They plays continued here, and... just to confirm, it's Verratti who's had his name taken. We've seen a booking for Zinchenko as well within that. So PSG really are starting to lose it. And Verratti's gone in on Riyad Mahrez. If he's not careful, he's going to go off. And I think for his sake, he's going to have to be substituted. Now Neymar wants a piece of this. Of course, it feels like PSG players having a little competition amongst themselves to see which player can just get involved in a bit of fracas, because nearly every one of the team has been involved to some degree.
How is that not a second yellow card? He's pulled his shirt. He's had a go at him. It's a second yellow card. You can't just excuse it. Oh, he's angry. No, he's a professional footballer. He's paid hundreds and £1,000s a week. He's got to have more composure than that.
It's petulant again, isn't it? But that was a really good challenge by him that time. But it's just going back to it. It's absolutely petulant, isn't it? It's just so unneeded and unnecessary, and how he's still on the pitch and how PSG are down to 9 men is absolutely mind-boggling, isn't it? And they really are just capitulating here in Manchester, and they've got to just retain calm. And here is now Neymar on the pitch. I think Manchester City will not stop their game plan for anybody, and it's really starting to annoy these PSG players as Florenzi has left one in on De Bruyne, who stayed down. It isn't a head injury, so play won't stop. Only if Kyle Walker or any City player will kick it out. I don't think they're going to do that. Mahrez just gets away from Kimpembe. He's on a hat-trick, remember, the Algerian. He might go it alone. He does. Marquinhos comes inside to make a vital block, and then De Bruyne goes in on Paredes, and he will have his name taken and will get a yellow card.
Yeah, both teams have to be careful. The referee needs to get control of this because, it's got potential to turn nasty. PSG have lost their heads now. They know they've lost, and it looks like they're almost just intending to try and injure Manchester City players, which is, horrible sportsmanship.
Well, PSG are almost saying that if we can't get to the final, you won't get there at all and enjoy it. And it almost has that feeling of a certain game with Mauricio Pochettino, which defied his Tottenham reign when they were chasing the league title, if you can remember, where, of course, they went to Chelsea. They were 2-0 up. Their title chances were pretty much fading away. And then, of course, at the game that was aptly known as the Battle of the Bridge, they were pegged back to 2-2, and they completely lost their heads, and it resulted in a real brawl that saw both sets of coaching staff have a bit of a argy-bargy with one another, as Paredes is now being replaced by Danilo Pereira, as the Porto loanee will come on, a side that Manchester City beat in the group stages and drew with, on course to reaching the knockout stages. And Colin Dagba will come on in place of Alessandro Florenzi. So two players who were in danger of losing their discipline have been replaced by Mauricio Pochettino here, as Mahrez gets it from Bernardo Silva. What a night he's had, Riyad Mahrez. What a season he's having. He's a player whose numbers have really not been spoke about enough, I feel. It's Fernandinho. Bernardo Silva was well away from it, and then Diallo will give it to Navas, who really didn't want that there. De Bruyne puts him under some enormous scrutiny, but he's managed to just get himself out of it at a really acute angle in his own area, as Keane gives it to Draxler. Now Neymar. Verratti's to his left. Verratti will use every ounce of him to get over there and get across to the ball. Neymar on it once more. Not been his night, as it's another game where he's not really been able to produce for Paris Saint-Germain in a big encounter. Verratti to Neymar. Diallo to Danilo Pereira. Now to Marquinhos. Out now to Colin Dagba. On in place of Florenzi just moments ago. Looks to find Draxler, but it's cut out by Zinchenko. Now Gundogan. To Kevin De Bruyne. He now gives it to Gundogan. What a sensational ball that is. Gundogan's got Silva coming up in support. He turns back with his back away from Navas's goal, and he just gives it to De Bruyne, and they just slow that down, and they're in no rush to get a third, which has just been what Manchester City have been like this season, hasn't it? Much different to what it's been over the past few years.
Yeah, it's all about the clean sheet, isn't it? Now you get your 2 goals, then all you've got to do is keep the ball. If the opposition don't have the ball, they can't score. It's as simple as that. But the game seems to have settled down a bit now. I'm absolutely amazed that Pochettino didn't take Verratti off, but maybe he's regained his composure.
Well, what must he be thinking, Pochettino? He is a man that, of course, was a no-nonsense centre-back in his day, but was also someone who could really retain his control as Foden tries his luck and hits the outside of the post. He just managed to just get that onto his left foot. He was getting on the outside of Kimpembe, who showed him a lot of room on that outside, and he's almost beaten Navas, but the post has denied him and Manchester City a third.
Kimpembe couldn't live with him there. Just the spin, and then he's so quick as well, Foden, but he's quick with the ball as well as without the ball. That's what's so impressive about him. Some players slow down when they get the ball, but Foden doesn't.
If De Bruyne gets it from Mahrez, he tries his luck, but it's well away from the goal and goes wide there as he's shot from the edge of the box. Not one of his better attempts there by the Belgian. As Neymar wants a word with Bjorn Kuiper, as I'm not actually sure why he actually wants a word with the Dutch referee. I'm a bit confused at that. I probably think you will be as well, Jack.
Yeah, it's just Neymar. It's just, here we go.
It's Bernardo Silva. It's come off Pereira, and then it's cleared out by the Portuguese midfielder as De Bruyne was lurking there. But PSG in this second half have just not been able to live with Manchester City's press, have they?
No, I mean, they had that one chance with Neymar, and there's been two. To be fair, Diaz has done 2 incredible blocks for goal-bound shots. But yeah, apart from that, they certainly haven't had the threat that they had in the first half. And Neymar's been petulant and disappointing, as he sometimes is when in these big games, unfortunately.
Verratti and Neymar were both acting and circling like a pack of wolves there to the Manchester City right-hand side, as Mahrez and De Bruyne tried that short corner there, as PSG have yet to register a shot on target, which is very unlike them in any capacity, let alone a UEFA Champions League semi-final, as it feels like this competition is going to elude them once again. They, of course, are so desperate to win it with the money that they spent from their Qatari owners and Nasser Al-Khelaifi. It almost just feels like that it's going to just be a bridge too far. Here's Foden, who gets it from De Bruyne. Now it's on target, but straight at Navas. Rather disappointing from Phil Foden, who's just come out of nowhere to just come alive in this encounter. Is Mahrez in Manchester City want to just put more salt into the PSG wounds and make it an even more horrific night than what it already is for the French side.
Yeah, I mean, look at Neymar now strolling around. A lot of the PSG players seem to have lost that will to go and chase. They know the ghost is up, I suppose, but it's always disappointing when teams throw in the towel with well over 10 minutes to go still.
Well, there is that element of pride in going down with fight. There's always been within football, isn't it, throughout the generations and throughout the decades, but it does just have that feeling, doesn't it, that PSG's mental state has just hit an all-time low, as they know that it is now well beyond them as we're into the final 10 minutes on the game you're listening to on Football Commentary Live, name of alternative commentary, with the score at Manchester City 2, Paris Saint-Germain 0. 2 goals for Riyad Mahrez, who's now on the ball and driving it down this right-hand side. Checks back from Verratti, gives it to Bernardo Silva. Now Walker. Of course, the Champions League action doesn't stop with Manchester City 9.5 minutes away from the setup from the final. They, of course, could be joined by another English side, Chelsea. You've got to get past Real Madrid, the competition's most successful side. Join me for that tomorrow from the game at Stamford Bridge. Mike Arneman will be on the mic for the Europa League game as Arsenal take on Villarreal. As Bernardo Silva now gets in the box with brilliant feet, but his cross-looking shot, if you like, is just bounced off Kimpembe and gone up for a Manchester City corner. And with it, it's their first changes of the night as Gabriel Jesus will come on in place of De Bruyne. Another good performance from him. Of course, he set that chance up for Foden to cross it to Riyad Mahrez to score his second. So De Bruyne will go off and Jesus will come on. A quick word on De Bruyne's performance tonight.
Yeah, he's just a class act, isn't he? I mean, he's not always in the game playing this false nine role, like he's not always on the ball. But I tell you what, in the important moments, he comes alive, and he played that that pass for Foden was perfectly weighted. He could just take it in his stride, and then from there they get the second goal. It doesn't go down as an assist, but if he doesn't play that pass, the goal doesn't happen.
Bernardo Silva off as well as Raheem Sterling goes on. PSG making their final alteration as Mitchell Bakker goes on in place of Abdou Diallo. In this semi-final second leg, we'll see no Kylian Mbappe. And of course, with the scoreline at 2-0 on the night and 4-1 on aggregate, this tie is pretty much dead in the water, isn't it? It's just a case of just keeping it at 2-0 for this second leg. Mahrez's corner is pushed out for another corner by Navas, who's looked very suspect when having to deal with crosses into his box this evening.
Yeah, he doesn't like to catch them, does he? He likes to punch them and flap them away. But I don't know. I mean, in the end, if he gets the job done, I suppose it's not a problem. But it does create more pressure on your team when it's. I'm sure defenders and fans love to see their goalkeeper come out and catch it rather than punch it. I can't think of any fan who doesn't want that.
Corner's taken short by Foden. Now Sterling to Zinchenko. Now to Phil Foden, who of course got himself an assist for Riyad Mahrez's second. Sterling now to Kyle Walker. Manchester City just going to enjoy this final 7+ minutes. Here's Riyad Mahrez. Sterling. Stones tries to give it back to Raheem Sterling, but it's overhit and goes up for a goal kick. And Paris Saint-Germain, of course, think that this game is over at 2-0, but they've just got to see that Sergio Aguero is going to come on. And, of course, in what is his final campaign at Manchester City, he's been part of the journey in the Champions League from day one when they played Napoli in September 2011, all the way to now, in which he will be, you'd expect, if he's not injured, part of the squad that will descend to Istanbul on May 29th. And Mahrez has been put through. First touch lets him down, but then Kimpembe and the Dutch left back Mitchell Bakker are able to defend that well. But then Walker comes in from all the way from a defensive area on that right-hand side to make that sliding challenge, which Navas gobbles up. But just a quick word on Sergio Aguero. He could potentially be leaving as a Champions League final winner, which was his ultimate dream when he arrived at this club 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, football. We like our fairy tales and we like our stories, and what a story it would be if he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final.
Well, it really would be, wouldn't it? As a foul has been given against Neymar as he went in a bit rashly on Ilkay Gundogan. So Phil Foden will be going off. Remember, a Manchester native. And you can hear a round of applause from Jack Cunningham, and another fine performance from Phil Foden as he will be coming off now. Sergio Aguero will come on for the final 5+ minutes. But another star performance from a man who has just got a glittering reputation, hasn't he?
What a player. I mean, if he doesn't start for England, there's something wrong. I mean, he's just started ahead of Sterling here in this game, played on the left wing, caused endless problems, could have had 3 goals. He's a joy to watch. I absolutely love watching him. What a play could be, really. The future is limitless for that lad.
I don't think you're alone in saying that he is a joy to watch. He really is fantastic. And you do have to actually pinch yourself at the fact that he is English, which is absolutely astonishing, given we have not had a talent like that in probably mine or your lifetime, Jack, as Sterling tries to keep that under control. He tried his level best to stay on his feet, and ultimately he can't win that battle, as nature just tells him that he's just got to go to ground there, as he did eventually lose his footing. Marquinhos now on the ball. We're into the final 4+ minutes. It's Manchester City 2, Paris Saint-Germain 0, as the French side, who came so close last year to Champions League glory, are going to get knocked out at the semi-final stage. Mitchell Bakker and Walker competing. Bakker tries to flick it over Walker, but he's not allowed any room to bring it into the box, as Kyle Walker does absolutely superbly in defending that there down that Manchester City right-hand side.
What a game he's had. He's got to be contender for man of the match. I'll tell you what, I don't envy me picking man of the match.
Well, it's got to that stage, Jack. You've rightly queued it up. Who would you say is your man of the match? And I think this might be one of those where I might have to throw it to you later on, because I think you're going to need a bit more time.
There's a few contenders. I mean, Kyle Walker is probably putting one of his best performances I've ever seen him play, to be honest. Ruben Diaz as well has been an absolute rock. What a horrible tackle.
Well, that was a wild swing there by Kimpembe, who's shown a yellow card, as he's kept his emotions intact and bottled up, but he just felt that enough was enough, and he had to show that he cared as he went in and completely wiped out Gabriel Jesus, who's gone down on the deck. He'll certainly be feeling that one from that hefty challenge from Kimpembe there.
Jesus is lucky he didn't make more contact there, because he could have been seriously hurt with that. There was no need for that tackle.
Kimpembe now to Verratti. PSG very, very keen for this game to end. Manchester City don't really probably want to be honest. They're happy to just stay on the pitch another 10 minutes, as they'll just happily keep the ball. Here's Neymar now, the Brazilian, who's certainly been talked about a lot tonight. Not for the right reasons to some degree, as he's just stopped the ball there, just slowing the play down, giving it back to Mitchell Bakker. And that's been a regular theme in the story of his night to some degree as well, hasn't it, Jack?
Yeah, I just think he just hasn't lived up to expectations. He seems to want to cling on the ball too long. He's made the wrong decision pretty much every single time. You know, I know he's a world-class player. He's in on goal now.
He's just managed to shift away from Walker, who's closing him down, where it's gone into Marquinhos, who can't direct it at goal, and then Ederson keeps it in and just wastes precious time as he just dives on the ball. And there's a little smile from Pep Guardiola as he knows he's close to guiding this Manchester City machine and juggernaut to European glory.
Yeah, I mean, that's the word, isn't it? Machine, juggernaut, that's what they are. They are relentless, and they don't blow teams away maybe as much as they used to, but they don't have to. They get their goals, they defend well, they keep the ball, and that's another terrible tackle.
Well, Daniel Pereira is now going to have his name taken, so the bookings are totting up. I mean, it is pretty interesting to say that they've had more bookings than shots on target of Paris Saint-Germain, which is something that won't be going down well. And he is, in fact, the fourth player on my account that has been booked, actually. There might have been a few more, but just before that foul by Daniel Pereira, Neymar went down clutching his foot there, saying he got caught by Kyle Walker, and play did carry on as a result as Neymar got back to his feet as the camera pans on a rain-soaked Mauricio Pochettino. And how do you reckon his thought process will be? Because it was the first half where they were really in this game, but the second half has just been a completely different story. And you could say to some degree, a real disaster.
Yeah, they've not been in it the second half, but it's going to be interesting. Pochettino could end this season without any silverware. They could lose the league on title to Lille, or so. It's going to be a season of rebuilding, a summer of rebuilding, and a summer of reflection. And I'm sure we know how good Pochettino is as manager. I'm sure he'll have PSG at least in the Champions League semi-final again. I'm sure he'll have them dominating French football again. But he's just trying to find the right balance at the moment, I think.
Here is Marquinhos. Now to Moise Kean, who's not really been involved since he came on for Icardi. Neymar with the clipball forward to Marquinhos. It's a really good run from Marquinhos, but then Ederson, his Brazilian international teammate, just closed the angle down at his near post as it's a PSG throw, as Raheem Sterling was reluctant to give the ball quickly to Verratti. There he went to go over to that right-hand side. Neymar was clipped there by Aguero. Still got the ball at his feet. He's trying to do it all on his own as the Brazilian Neymar, as he's been fouled by Fernandinho, who once again has escaped without a yellow card there, as 2 minutes of additional time has been added on. And Paris Saint-Germain potentially here, could get a goal in this second leg and make it 2-1, just like the first leg.
Yeah, I mean, before that was much better from Neymar. That floated ball over the top for Marquinhos was gorgeous. And in the end, he's won himself a free kick. So that's what we needed to see from him earlier in the game when PSG still had a chance of getting to the Champions League final. Not now. So, I think you've got to think there's got to be genuine questions over his mentality and his ability to show up for the big games. Because you look at the Man City team and they've all shown up.
Well, he can produce magic, as we know. Can he do it here in the final 25 seconds of this? No, he cannot, as the free kick is too high and is well over the bar, and it's pretty much summed up the team performance that Neymar and the PSG players are given tonight in Manchester.
Yeah, that certainly summed up Neymar's performance. Lazy sort of clip, sort of lofted towards the corner. Wasn't really conviction in it. Yeah, as you can say, I've been disappointed with Neymar.
John Stones with the boot forward, and there is the final whistle. For the first time ever, Manchester City are UEFA Champions League finalists, and just look at what it means to them. Their dream that they set out on a decade ago is close to fruition, and those Manchester City fans at home, all across the country and all across the world, will be cheering tonight as they will be in the Champions League final on the 29th of May, whether Chelsea or it will be Real Madrid. Manchester City will be in Turkey and the city of Istanbul to play club football's biggest game. Manchester City were just far too strong for Paris Saint-Germain on the night. But what an achievement Guardiola's side have done, as the treble is still on, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Totally deserved in the end. I thought, first half PSG came out, had chances, but City got the goal and they managed the game so well. And then the second half, it was just, it was so easy for them. And PSG lost their heads, lost their cool. Should have had more than one player sent off, in my opinion. I said it earlier on, they're favourites to win the Champions League now. And then after that, once Guardiola's won that, I guess what else is there left to achieve for him? I know he signed a new contract, but genuinely, after that, he's done everything. So we'll have to see what happens there. But congratulations to Manchester City, absolutely brilliant once again, and I look forward to seeing them in the final.
That you do, as most people I think would agree with that statement. Of course, Guardiola was brought in 5 years ago to get them to Champions League finals, not just once in a blue moon, to go with the name of their song that they so often sing at home games, but to do it on a regular basis, to be the dominant force in the world. And they are just so close to doing it. They are so dominant on the domestic front. The only thing that they cannot win this season is the FA Cup, as Pochettino and Verratti want words with the referee, Bjorn Kuipers. They're not intending to end this here. But it was 2 goals from Riyad Mahrez in the 11th minute and in the 63rd minute that sealed Manchester City's passage into the final, as they have beaten PSG 2-0 in the second leg at the Etihad, 2-1 from the first leg, 4-1 on aggregate. Manchester City are through to the Champions League final, Russ.
Thank you very much, Matt, and to Jack for some excellent commentary this evening. Hopefully, everyone who's listened has enjoyed the commentary. There's just one thing to say, which I have a question to ask our brilliant co-commentators tonight, Mr. Jack Cunningham and Jack.
Yep.
Who have you now decided who is your man of the match? Because
Yeah, I
you didn't
mean,
give it during the commentary, so have you decided now?
yeah, I needed that extra time, unfortunately. I mean, I'm going to guess that other people would give it to Mahrez because of the 2 goals, but for me, Ruben Diaz. I mean, 3 unbelievable blocks with his face. 2 of them were goal-bound efforts. One of them, he came sliding in, led from the back, shut out an absolutely incredible PSG attack. As I said, I could have definitely given it to Kyle Walker or other City players, Foden perhaps as well, but for me, Ruben Diaz.
Yes, and a match you've just heard there, Jack Cunningham gave his man of the match to Ruben Diaz. He said a lot of players would have probably given it, a lot of pundits and fellow fans would have probably given it to Riyad Mahrez for his 2 goals for the people who have watched tonight. Would you agree with Diaz for man of the match, or would you have gone with, say, Riyad Mahrez for his 2 goals, or someone completely different, Matt?
Well, to be fair, I think the 3 players that Jack actually mentioned were probably the 3 standouts for City tonight. I mean, it was a really good team performance, but when you look at individual performances, you really nail it down. There were some real standouts. I thought Kyle Walker, I think Jack got it on commentary, got it absolutely spot on. That's probably the best I've seen Kyle Walker play, not just for Manchester City, but I think throughout his career, because we've seen a lot of criticism be thrown at him for his defending and his positioning, but it's completely improved over the last sort of 10, 12 months, you could say. Riyad Mahrez, what a season he's having. I mean, he's somebody who, we knew could score goals with his time at Leicester, and it's not completely new, but he's just added that at Manchester City to take his game to a different dimension. We've seen, obviously Ruben Diaz get the man of the match, which I'm not going to complain about because I thought he was outstanding. He made 2 blocks of his face, and he just throws himself in the line of fire, so commanding, so authoritative. When you're a Manchester City fan at home and those defenders and Ederson in goal, you just know that there is so much confidence that you have in that man at the back. And I almost felt they never really had that after Company had left them. But obviously, him being in there has just made life so much easier. But yeah, I don't have any complaints on that. And, the players that were mentioned, but it's a special, special night for Man City and a top-notch performance.
Yes, and we're going to wrap it up there. Just one quick one before we do wrap it up. Mike said Morris would have been ace for his 2 goals and his all-round play. He said he loved the biggest threat, Man City's biggest threat going forward. He said also Zinchenko could have been in the mix too. But I'll just run you through the scores from on the doors from the other leagues today, which you can, if you're watching, you can see going across the bottom of the screen. Luton 0, Rotherham United 0 in the Championship. Blackpool 2, Doncaster Rovers 0 in League One. Also in League One, Charlton 3, Lincoln 1, Shrewsbury 0, Ipswich 0, and in the National League earlier, Notts County beat Sutton United by 3 goals to 2. But the main game was the Champions League, and Manchester City are into the Champions League final. It's Manchester City 2, PSG 0. Man City will play the winners of Chelsea v Real Madrid, which will be able to be live here on Football Commentary Live tomorrow. Until then, take care and we'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.